This is group number 6, our presentation on Greater Oceania, focused primarily on Australia, New Zealand, and Indonesia. Population of 21.7 million. Of those, 86% are considered urban. Total land area of 7.69 million kilometers. The current exchange rate of AUD to USD is 1.0 for every 0.68 cents. They're the 5th ranked trading partner to the United States, and interestingly, the United States has the highest direct investment with Australia compared to any other country in the Indo-Pacific, valued at over $170 billion. And if you take a look on the bottom left, you can see kind of where the populated areas of Australia are. So we're going to take a look at their global imports. The global imports are going to be mineral fuels, mineral oils, followed by machinery and mechanical appliances, then followed by cars, tractors, and truck parts. Locations of those are going to be China, the United States, as well as South Korea. Looking at their global exports, they're going to be exporting primarily mineral fuels, mineral oils, ores, slag and hash, as well as precious stones, metals, and pearls. And the locations of those exports are going to be China, Japan, and South Korea. In the context of the United States, Australia is going to be importing machinery and mechanical parts, carts, cars, and truck parts, as well as optical, photo, and film equipment. And they're going to be exporting meat and edible offal, precious stones and pearls, as well as pharmaceutical products. Trading regulations in Australia. Australia and New Zealand have a closer economic trade relations, which was signed on January 1st, 1983. The Indonesia and Australian Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement signed on July 5th of 2020, and the Australia and United States Free Trade Agreement, which was signed on January 1st of 2005. Australia's infrastructure, some of their major future investments include $2.3 billion to the women's health sector, $1 billion to the State Energies Commission, $641 million to the Mountain Railway, and $573 million to education. Below the text, you can see the necessary funding needed to meet those goals, as well as on the right, we have a color-coded map of the total shares of the budget. At the modernity of Australia, their methods of travel are urbanized. They have 36,000 kilometers of railroads. There's over 60 ports, 8 of which are major, and you can see those in the top right. There's multiple major highways. In modern marketing, they have a digital ad spend of 13.9 million in AUD, which was an increase of 9.5% in 2022. E-commerce growth of about 15.5% of an increase, which now accounts for 13.6% of all retail. Their AI marketing is utilized by about 45% of all companies, and their online shopping is used by 65% of Australians' customers. You can see on the bottom right, we have a content marketing usage by tactic. New Zealand generalized, they have a total population of 5.4 million, 87% of which are considered urban, total land area of 268.6 kilometers, exchange rate of NZD to USD is 1.0 for 0.62 cents. They're the 3rd ranked trading partner to the United States, and they are well known for their quality of life, finance, and healthcare. You can see on the top right, we have a coded map of the populated areas in New Zealand. Taking a look at their global imports, they're going to be importing primarily edible products of animal origin, meat and edible offal, as well as wood articles, and charcoal. And the locations of these imports are going to be China at number 1, followed by Australia, as well as the United States at number 3. Looking at New Zealand's global exports, you can see that 13.6 are machinery and mechanical appliances and parts, followed by carts, cars, tractors, trucks, and parts, as well as mineral fuels, mineral oils, and products of their distillation. And the locations of those exports are again going to be China, Australia, and the United States. New Zealand's imports and exports to the United States, primarily importing machinery, mechanical appliances and parts, car parts, as well as optical, photo, film equipment, and they're exporting meat and edible offal, beverages, spirits, and vinegar, as well as edible animal products. New Zealand's trading regulations. New Zealand and Australia have a closer economic trade relations, which was signed on January 1st, 1983. They're a part of the ASEAN Australia and New Zealand Free Trade Area, signed on February 27, 2009, which includes Indonesia and 10 other members, as well as the New Zealand and United States Bilateral Trade Agreement, which was signed on October 1992. Infrastructure, we can see some of their major investments include the City Rail Link at $5.5 billion, the East-West Link at $1.85 billion, about $4.3 billion to water-related sectors, and $300 million to an electric sector. You can see on the bottom left, they have the forecasted funding needed. On the top right, we have the major cities in New Zealand, and below that, we have the rail links operating chart. So modernity in New Zealand, you can see that their methods of travel are urbanized. They have about 4,375.5 kilometers of railroads, 44 ports, 5 of which are major. There's multiple major roadways as well as ferries and water travel. And you can see we pinned the major ports right next to it. Modern marketing and digital growth, they have about 90% internet penetration, and e-commerce accounts for about 12% of all retail. Their AI marketing is projected at $525.65 million in 2024, and their online shopping takes about 69% of customer utilization. And you can see the graphs on the right depict the areas of online sales as well as online shopping in New Zealand. So we can see that Indonesia has a population of 27.5 million, 58% of which are considered urban, a land area of 1,904,569 kilometers, current exchange rate of IDR to USD is 0.000066, and they are the second ranked trading partner of the United States. If you look over on the bottom right, you can see kind of where the populated areas of Indonesia are. Indonesia's global exports are going to be machinery and mechanical parts, mineral fuels and mineral oils, as well as electrical and machinery and electronics. And the locations of those are going to be China, Singapore, as well as Japan. Their global exports are going to be mineral fuels and mineral oils, animal or vegetable fats, followed by iron and steel. And the location of those exports are going to be China, Japan, and the United States. So their imports and exports to the United States, they're importing primarily mineral fuels, mineral oils, and products of distillation, oil seeds, fruits, and grains, as well as machinery and mechanical appliance parts. And on the export side, they are going to be exporting primarily electrical machinery and electronics, animal oils and waxes, as well as knitted clothing accessories. Indonesia's trading regulations, they are a part of the ASEAN Australia and New Zealand Free Trade Area. They joined in 2023. The Indonesia and Australia Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement on July 5th, 2020, and the United States and Indonesia Bilateral Trade Agreement, or the TIFA, which was on July 16, 1996. Indonesia's infrastructure, you can see that some of their major future investments are the Nusantara capital city, $32 billion, their estimated $540 billion for manufacturing, their North Gas project, as well as converting 30% of renewable energy, currently sitting at about 12%. On the top right, you can see the populated areas of Indonesia. Bottom left, these are the infrastructure investment needed for each sector. And on the bottom right, you have the chart of spending versus growth. Lastly, Indonesia's modernity. They are semi-urbanized. They have 6,640 kilometers of railroads. There's over 650 centralized ports, 8 of which are major. You can see we depicted those in the top right. There's a few major roadways which can lead to some severe congestion, and there's a lot of water travel. So in the context of modern marketing, digital growth, they have 77 internet penetration, 77%. Their e-commerce is about 18% of all retail. Their AI marketing is projected at $10.88 billion in 2030, but their online shopping only takes up about 7% of all Indonesians with online access. So a quick Australia recap. They do have some notable free trade agreements. Their exports outweigh their imports by 132 billion. They have a urbanized infrastructure, extensive railroad networks, ports, and major highway systems. And lastly, they are seeing good results in online marketing. Very quick New Zealand recap. They also have some notable trade agreements with the United States as well as Australia and Indonesia. Notable exports and imports are animal products as well as machine parts. They do also have an urbanized infrastructure, methods of travel, railways, water travel, and energy, and they are also seeing good results from online marketing. And lastly, our Indonesia recap. They have a 1996 Trade and Investment Framework agreed between Indonesia and the United States. They're also a part of ASEAN. Some notable imports and exports are going to be their mineral materials, and they have a semi-urbanized infrastructure with a lot of water travel. And lastly, they are seeing good results in digital marketing.